Here we are discussing another important Excel tool, which is basically random numbers. Now, this random number generator can help you generate data using Excel. For example, over here we have these cities and we have a few months listed here, that is Jan, Feb and March. What we want is a sales simulation wherein we want to add hypothetical sales number from these cities. So the idea is to do some kind of analysis as to how a city would generate sales over a period of time, or how random the sales number could be across the cities. There's one mechanical approach, manual approach, wherein you can type random numbers. Okay, just randomly put in numbers. This is one approach, but you will notice that these numbers are not totally random. These are they are fixed, some fixed, and there's also some biased on these set of numbers which I'm typing across the sheet. Okay, there could be some bias that comes into picture when you are typing in these hypothetical sales number. However, you can use the Excel help in order to generate some sample numbers, and that can be done using the random function. So if you were to introduce random in this cell, you just need to type in is equal to RAND, open the bracket and just simply close the bracket. You'll find that there is blank in between. We are not typing in anything, and as soon as you type enter, you will see that randomly Excel has generated a number. Let's understand this random function again. Random function returns a random number that is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. It is evenly distributed, which means that it changes on recalculation. I'll tell you what this means. It changes on recalculation, but you need to remember that it will give you a number that is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. So as soon as you hit enter, okay, I am not given the formula correctly. I need to close and open and close the bracket simultaneously, and we see that a random number comes up. If you must have observed, the first time I used random, it gave me 0.15, and now it is given me 0.98. So this number keeps on changing as you keep on recalculating it. For example, if I were to use this in this cell, you see that now the random number 0.98 has changed to 0.84, and we also have one more random number 0.19. Even if I edit this formula and press enter, again it is changed. Okay, so this keeps on recalculating the random number. So every action you do, random numbers would change. And we also saw that these numbers do not remain static. As soon as I were to edit this and hit enter again, you see that the number has changed. So these numbers do not remain static. If you want them to remain static, let's just first paste across this formula for the entire sheet, and we see that random numbers have been generated for the entire sheet. If I change any one of them, the entire sheet or entire data set will change. If I want to keep it constant, what I can do is you can just copy this data. If you feel that this is the sales hypothetical numbers, this is what you want, you can click copy, and under paste special you can select values. Okay, so now if you were to use this, you can easily use it. It will not change even if you press F2 on your keyboard. Okay, so this is how you can keep your number static when you are using your random numbers. Now many a times what happens is that you would want to generate random numbers between a specific range. Let's say I want random numbers between 100 and 900. Okay, so what can I do in this is I can use a function which is rand between, rand between. This will help you return a random number between the numbers you specify. Okay, so I can give a range. As soon as you open the bracket, the syntax says first you need to provide the bottom number, which in our case will be 100, and the next thing it wants is the top number. So this looks fine. I'll also freeze the cells so I can copy paste them. So using F4, I freeze the cells and hit enter, and I got a random number between 100 and 900. If I were to copy this formula across, you will find that we get many random numbers. As soon as I press F2 and hit enter, the data again changes. If you want this data to be static, as I told you, need to select the data, copy, paste special values. Now if you were to use this, you can directly use it because the ran between formula has escaped, and you can use this data directly. We can also use the ran between function in case of dates. Okay, so if I had date, let's say 1st of Jan 2010 and 1st of Jan 2013, I want dates to be generated between these two data set. Then what can I do? It's the same thing. You're going to use is equal to ran between, the bottom would be 2010 and top would be 2013, and if you hit enter, you get this. Now don't worry, this is in the number format. What you need to do is change the format. So format cells, and we need to make it date. You can choose the date format you want, click on date and press OK. So we have randomly generated this date, which is 28th of October 2011. So like this, you can randomly change or select a date between a specific range of dates as well. So this was about data random numbers. Let's move on to another important Excel tool.